Welcome. I'm Prophet Robert Foster. Now, this is chapter we're going to be doing for this month. This is because this is the last day of the prophetic conference for February the 26th until March. The first week of March in 2026, we will continue with the book of Revelation. But this will be the last chapter for this month, and I hope you enjoyed our time. Next time we'll be doing this, we probably will be having PowerPoints all the way through to see your visualization as we discuss the book of Revelation full time again. So I hope you enjoyed me reading Perry Stone commentary Bible of the Revelation. So now let's get on to what we have to read and what he also has over the comp in that stuff. Okay. Chapter 13. And I stood upon the sand of the sea, and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his head the name of blasphemy. And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, his feet were as feet of a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion. And the dragon gave him his power and his seat and great authority. And I saw one of his head as it was wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed. And all the world wondered after the beast. And they worshipped the dragon which gave power to the beast. They worshipped the beast, saying, Who is not under the beast, who is able to make war against with him. And there was given unto him a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies. And power was given unto him to continue 42 months. He opened his mouth to blaspheme against God, to blaspheme his name and his tabernacle and them that dwell therein in heaven. Okay. This chapter introduced an Antichrist symbolized by a wild beast rising out of the sea, in this case the Mediterranean Sea, called in Daniel the Great Sea. See Daniel chapter 7, verses 1 to 4. The Antichrist is revealed as the man of sin, 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 3. In the middle of the 7-year tribulation, the later half, the final 42 months is considered great tribulation. Matthew chapter 24, verse 21, and continue for another 42 months. A Jewish president has been set up on the Temple Mount in some form of a temple during the first 42 months. See Revelation chapter 11, verse 1 and 2. Motivating the Antichrist to invade Jerusalem, killing the 2 witnesses, and setting up his headquarters, stopping in the form of Jewish worship or control. See Daniel chapter 9, verse 27. The authority of the beast kingdom comes from Satan, the dragon, verse 2. The false prophet allies with the Antichrist, deceiving the world with satanic inspired miracles. See Matthew chapter 24, verse 24. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 9. Satanic violence will cover the world, as multitudes will be motivated to worship the beast. See Revelation chapter 13, verse 12. For 42 months, through the Antichrist, Satan will attain his desire from the beginning. The desire to be like God, to sit in the temple of God, and to be worshipped as God. See Isaiah chapter 14, verse 13 and 14. Luke chapter 4, verse 7. Paul taught that Antichrist will exalt himself above all that is called God, and will sit in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. 2 Thessalonians chapter 4, 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 4. This passage is in Revelation, declared that the Antichrist will be unbeatable in war and will capture Jerusalem, ruling from the city for 42 months. Verse 4 and 5. He would blaspheme those that dwell in heaven. Verse 6, which refer to God, Christ, angels, and saints. For detailed information concerning the Antichrist, see the article, The Antichrist in 1 John in there. The Antichrist will not be shot in the head, chapter 13, verse 3. Revelation chapter 13, verse 3 may be the most misunderstanding of any verse in Revelation. From my early days in church, I have heard prophetic ministers say that Antichrist will have a gunshot wound in his head, die, and be supernatural, raised up from the dead. After stating this, they often compare the resurrection of the Antichrist to the counterfeit type of Christ being raised from the dead. However, in the King James Version and in the Greek, verse 3 said one of his heads was wounded. Notice plural heads and not singular head. The heads referred to one of the 7 heads of the dragon. See Revelation chapter 13, verse 1. Since the 7 heads represents the 7 empires of prophecy, the 7th head or empire rules the first part of the tribulation. Thus, John is revealing that one of the previous 7 empires of prophecy has been wounded to death, meaning it no longer existed, but it will be healed. Of the 6 previous empires of prophecy, Egypt, Assyria, Babylon, Persia, Greece, and Rome, only one of the 6 no longer exists, or even has the same name, from the past, and that is Babylon. Modern day Iraq. Note that John spent 2 chapters, Revelation chapter 17 and 18, predicting the future destruction of a spiritual and economic Babylon. The link between Islam and the end time prophecy, chapter 13. Uh, for many years, Christians, ministries, and teachers identified the future Antichrist as a Jewish man from the tribe of Dan. It will bring global peace. It will do a real fundraising. This theory was based on certain scriptures. See Genesis chapter 49, verse 16 to 70. Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 22. Jeremiah 8, 16 to 18. And a promise by the other Father help of the tools. Detailed research from Daniel and Revelation, however, indicated the Antichrist is a Gentile, whose Gentile army will travel Jerusalem for 42 months. See Revelation chapter 11, verse 1 and 2. The 10 toes on the metallic image in Nebuchadnezzar's dream, see Daniel chapter 2, verse 4, 40 to 44, are also the 10 final Gentile nations, 5 Eastern and 5 Western, combining their power and giving their kingdom to the Antichrist in 1 hour. See Revelation chapter 17, verse 11 and 12. Israel is today surrounded by nations in which the majority of the population are Muslim. These include Egypt, Jordan, Lebanon, and Syria, with other nations being Iraq, Saudi Arabia, Libya, Sudan, Ethiopia, and further to the east, Afghanistan and Pakistan. To the north are Turkey, and to the south, Russian states, with the exception of a few modern Islamic occupied by Christians and Jews. These Muslims are taught that eventually all Muslims must wage war against Jews and Christians, recapture Palestine, and unite their nation on one banner, forming a new Islamic empire. The Islamic region was founded by Muhammad in AD 622 in the area of Saudi Arabia, where 2 prominent cities exist, Median and Mecca. Through war and an organized army, Muhammad conquered local tribes, killing Jews and other unbelievers. He united a large farm prior to his death. After his death in 632, the religions split between 2 distinct groups, the Sunnis and the Shiites, each claiming to be the heir of Muhammad religion destiny in AD 637. Muslims vowed to take Jerusalem from Christian patriarch Sophronis, who eventually surrendered to Islamic Rashidun Caliphate, and in April 637, the Caliphate traveled to Jerusalem to take the city for debating Christians. Despite the Sunnis and Shiites both being devout Muslims, a vow ensured between leaders from both groups. Over who was the heir of the Prophet's mountain. Abu Bakr, the first caliphate, brought the tribe of Arab under Islamic rule. The second caliphate, Omar, 634 to 644, began an expansion that lasted for 100 years under Omar's leadership. The mosque in Jerusalem was built on the Temple Mount. During this 100-year period, Muslim armies extended the empire into Iraq, Iran, and parts of Central Asia. As Syria became under Islamic control, Damascus became the headquarters of the Umayyad dynasty, 661 through 750. The third caliphate, Ottoman, was assassinated, resulting in a war between the Sunni and the Shiite factions that continued on and off to this day. As year progressed, several different Islamic dynasties rose, and the headquarters of the Shiite eventually became Baghdad, Kuwait, in Cordoba, Iraq. Hussein, the son of Ali, was murdered along with seven of his father each year during the Islamic month of Muharram. The Shiites committed a day. Ali was the first of the 11 leaders. The Sunni leaders salute. These slayings include the first 11 leaders of the Shiite branch. The 10th and 11th leaders were killed in Samaria, Iraq, in the year 878. Because of the failure of the Sunni, the Shiite hid the son of the 11th leader and eventually built a mosque in 944 at the site where the young man was hidden. It led in the well or cave of some form. Among Shiite Muslims, a tradition emerged that at the end of days, the 12th son will emerge from hiding and become the anticipated Mahdi, the guided one, who will emerge the Islamic nation under a new and powerful caliphate, eventually retaken Mahdi, retaken land once lost to the infidels, including Jerusalem, under the control of the Christians and Jews. Both branches of Islam believe that the Mahdi will emerge from the nation of Iraq, which is the land of the biblical Tower of Babel, see Genesis 11, and the ancient Babylon where Daniel was written. Both groups also mark the city of Kabul and Sumer as the two locations where the final Islamic leaders will emerge. Many Islamic traditions cover the Mahdi, matching the prediction related to the Antichrist found in Revelation. The Mahdi will arrive riding a white horse, and John saw the white horseman at the beginning of his vision. See Revelation chapter 6, verse 2, the Mahdi and the testimony of Christ. See Revelation chapter 20, verse 4. According to many Islamic scholars, the Mahdi ruled for 7 years. This is biblical link to the tribulation that concludes in Christ's return. See Daniel chapter 9, verse 27. Other traditions indicate that Mahdi will give his father gold and silver. A prediction concerning the future Antichrist in Daniel chapter 11, verse 38. The Islamic herald is said to emerge from the east. Daniel noted the Antichrist will be great toward the east. Daniel chapter 8, verse 9. Muslims did not take their Mahdi expectation from the Bible. However, the biblical prophets foresaw events and believed that would be promised at the time of the end. Islam will play a role in the beast's kingdom and end, forging the age and final empire, a prophecy, a warning, and a dangerous beast that will tend to destroy the Jewish people and beheaded multitudes. The beast is the kingdom, and the beast is the Antichrist and his kingdom. The Apostle John coined the phrase Antichrist using the word 4 times. See 1 John chapter 2, verse 18 and 22, chapter 4, verse 3, 2 John chapter 7, the, yeah, 2 John 7. The Antichrist spirit was at work in John's time, denying that Christ was the Son of God and rejecting his relationship with the Father. The term Antichrist, however, is also the title of a man, indicated with the pronoun he. See 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 4 and 6, and him, Revelation chapter 13, verse 37, who forges an age and final kingdom at the end of the age. The symbol is that of a beast in both Daniel chapter 7, verse 7 to 11, and Revelation chapter 11, verse 7, and chapter 13, verse 1 and 2. When Antichrist rise to prominence, 10 kings will already be ruled in front of either 10 regions of the world or 10 nations. These 10 are symbolized as horns in Daniel. The Antichrist is identified as a little horn who had eyes and mouth speaking of most of the things. See Daniel chapter 7, verse 7 and 8. It will make war against the sight. Daniel chapter 7, verse 21. Whom Daniel identified clearly as his people, the Jewish people. See Daniel chapter 9, verse 15 to 12 and 24. Satan gives Antichrist his supernatural authority, enabling him to cause a strong delusion. See Revelation chapter 13, verse 2.